Hello, and thank you for joining us on our virtual recording of our Nutrition Talk Navigating the Holidays. My name is BJ Platt, and I am one of the nutrition coaches at CrossFit Generation Nutrition. And today I'm going to take some time to talk to you about how we can navigate the holiday season. So, holiday season has arrived, and wow, was that fast. When you think of the holidays, what comes to mind? Hopefully, friends and family made the top 3 list, but undoubtedly some of you thought about the hustle and bustle, the stress, the late nights, the food, but more specifically the treats and maybe the alcohol. After working on our health and wellness goals for weeks or even a few months, the holiday season seems to feel like a time that we get derailed. But what if I told you that this year you could stay on track and still enjoy this season, everything the season has to offer? So we're going to talk about some tips today that can help you along your holiday journey. So here at CrossFit Generation, we are partnered with Healthy Steps Nutrition. And at Healthy Steps Nutrition, we believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated. We want you to feel confident with a realistic and sustainable plan, even through the holidays, which is why we focus on a habit-based approach. So if you have ever felt derailed or experienced weight gain during the holiday season, know that you are not alone. A scientific review article found that various studies define this holiday season as starting around Thanksgiving, this week, and ending the second week of January. So that is a long holiday season. In this review, they found that in those studies of adults, a significant weight gain of about 2 pounds was consistently observed during this period. Does that surprise you at all? So, if most people, whether they're aiming to lose weight or not, are gaining weight, you may be wondering how you can enjoy the holiday season and still stay on track to achieving your goals. So today we're going to dive into 5 tips for navigating this holiday season. We're going to start with tip number 1, remember your why. Behind every goal, there's an emotion of how we want to feel when we achieve that goal. For instance, when we work with nutrition clients looking to lose weight, there is a reason why they want to lose weight. So take a moment and write down your goal and then answer why. So here is an example. The goal is to lose 10 pounds. Why? So I can fit into those old clothes in the back of my closet. Why are those clothes so important? Well, when I see pictures of myself wearing them, I think they look really good. Why is wearing those clothes and looking good important? Well, if I lose 10 pounds and I fit into those clothes, I'll feel more comfortable and confident in my own skin. So the goal is to continuously check in about why that is so important to you. This will lead us to truly understanding the strong emotional connection between our goals. So for some, it may take only 3 questions, and others may need to ask themselves a couple more questions to get to that why. So to get started, let's take the next few minutes to think about your goals and your why. So if you'd like, you can pause the video here and really take a deep dive into your goals and your why. So once you uncover and understand your why, think about writing that down somewhere and having a symbol in a place that you'll see every day as a reminder to keep you motivated. Maybe you write it on a piece of paper that goes on the fridge or on your mirror. Maybe it's that goal outfit that you want to be wearing in no time. So try and find places throughout your house or your office that you can maybe stick a little sticky note to put your why up there, and every time you see it, it's that little bit of a reminder as to why you're doing all of these things. Number 2 is to stay consistent. So, the magic pill for long-term success is consistency. Consistent actions lead to lasting results, even during a season of traveling, treats, and gatherings. It's important to stay consistent with your routine. So let's take a minute to reflect upon these questions. Do you have a daily routine? How many days a week do you stay active? Do you have a morning and an evening routine? So here are some tips when it comes to staying consistent during the holiday season. First is to block out on your calendar to stay active. So take a look at your busy holiday schedule. Can you identify 2 to 3 days a week that you can block out some time to move your body? This can be any movement. Maybe you're in a place or at home where you can get to the gym. Great. If you're traveling without that option, block out time to go for a walk with the people that you're with. Next, block out time on your calendar to pick out what meals you want to eat for the week and to shop for ingredients. Not only will you find yourself staying on track if you plan out your meals during the holiday weeks, but this will also allow you to stay consistent with your eating, even on days like Thanksgiving, where eating is the main focus. Lastly, stay consistent with your sleep. The holiday season often brings late nights, and when we aren't getting enough sleep, this may lead to a decreased ability to properly and efficiently digest the foods and beverages we consume, which may leave us feeling inflamed and bloated. One of the best things we can do for our body is be mindful about getting at least 6 hours of sleep every night. And that also means maybe staying consistent with your bedtime and your wake up time. So although it's challenging to have to say goodbye early, maybe you are the first one to leave your party because you know that you want to get to bed at a decent time so that you can still get your full night's sleep and wake up at your normal time. Our body does so much better when we stay on that consistent sleep schedule than when we're all over the place. So tip number 3 is plan ahead. A goal without a plan is just a wish. In a busy season, it's easy to let your health and fitness slip to the back burner. By having a plan, you are able to reset yourself up for success. So, plan out your meals and snacks for the week. If you're traveling, what great lean and shelf-stable proteins can you bring to stay on track? So, some easy ones to take on travel trips would be RX bars and turkey jerky. Both are shelf-stable and a great source of protein, so they'll help keep you full. And be sure to schedule time to go grocery shopping if possible so that you know you have those great options to stay on track. And remember when we talked about staying consistent with eating, even on days like Thanksgiving? Well, what do we mean by this? One of the biggest mistakes we see people make is changing their routine to save up for Thanksgiving meals. And that means probably skipping breakfast, lunch, and snacks to wait for the feast. Well, when you skip meals, you're actually increasing your chances of falling off track. As we starve our bodies, we will enter into dinner time feeling overly hungry. This may lead to eating faster and definitely over-consuming. So instead, plan out a balanced breakfast and lunch that focuses on lean protein and veggies. I love to make sure that I wake up on holidays and still follow my normal breakfast routine, making sure that those veggies are the first things I eat and keeping my normal breakfast and lunch and snacks. And then I can really enjoy myself knowing that I've already had 2 solid meals and a snack before going into that big meal. And if you stay consistent with your eating routine, it'll be much easier to stay mindful and on track. Remember, meals like Thanksgiving are just like any other dinner time. Tip number 4 is remembering the plate method. So you've probably heard us talk about plate method quite often. No matter where you are or what you're making for dinner, keeping plate method in mind makes it easy to stay on track. So plate method is filling half of your plate with non-starchy vegetables, a quarter of your plate with lean proteins, and a quarter of your plate with starchy carbs with some healthy fats added on the side there. If you're remembering tips 2 and 3, you should be going into any special holiday meal fueled and mindful. So when you step up to the table or counter to grab your food, or maybe you're ordering out at a restaurant, aim to recreate this picture every time. So here are some tips to help you stay on track with your plate method. One is to eat your non-starchy veggies first, then to eat your protein, and then save your starch until the end. Remember to slow down. It does take our brain about 15 minutes to get the signal from our bellies that our stomachs are full. And then if you're still feeling hungry after you finish your plate, go back for more veggies. Fill up on those. And tip number 5 is to stay mindful. We know that a highly restrictive diet or mindsets are not sustainable. So this often leads to the yo-yo dieting that we often hear about. Why does this happen? So if you have kids or remember being one, do you remember when someone told you can't do something or have something? Do you remember hyper-focusing on that? It's the same thing for diets. When we tell ourselves we can't have something like pie, cookies, or that blanket statement of having no sugar, we start to think more about the cravings until we finally just give in, and that can often lead to overconsuming. So, do you want a treat? Great. Have it, enjoy it, every single bite. Remind yourself how good it tastes and how much you are enjoying it. And then once you have it, move on. This is the season of sweets and treats. And instead of feeling deprived that you can't have something, then overeating later, have a little bit and then move on. It's okay to enjoy a treat. With HSN, we have a podcast that is hosted by the founder, Nicole Aucoin. And one of the great podcasts for this time of year is podcast episode 42, 4 tips to help you stay on track with your nutrition and health goals during the holidays. So if you haven't given the podcast a listen, I highly recommend it. There's a lot of tips on there that can help you throughout this time. Next, we've got some frequently asked questions. Where should I start? That is a great question. I want you to start with one thing at a time. Maybe it's something that you already have in mind, or maybe it's one of the last things we discussed today. But the best and fastest way to reach your goals is to work one-on-one with a nutrition coach and to build an individualized plan just for you. So here's the deal. There is never a perfect time to get started. There's always something that will come in the way. You have to make a commitment to yourself. It's simple, not easy, but we are here to help you. So if you're thinking, this all sounds great, but I don't even know where to start, or I really just need someone to help me create a plan that's realistic for me and someone to help keep me accountable, we would love to help you. This is actually my favorite time as a nutrition coach because each of our meetings that I work with my clients on, we talk about what they have coming up between now and their next meeting. We really dive in to create a plan that's specific to those events. So that way when they go to those family gatherings or the parties at work, they already have a plan that's specific to that event, not just one blanket thing to work on. So really starting at this time is better than any time, really. And if you're looking for some other additional tips, check out the Nutrition Made Simple podcast. There's a ton of episodes. Obviously, the one I just talked about in the slides a couple back was episode 42. So there's at least 42 podcast episodes, and each one are about 20 to 30 minutes, and they give you a little bit of tips to walk away with to really focus on. And if you check out that bottom right corner, you'll even see one of our own CFG members that was interviewed on a podcast episode. So today, to regroup what we learned today, the 5 easy tips when navigating a healthy holiday. Remember to start with your why. Think back with those goals, really get down to that. Why are you doing this? Stay consistent. Remember, the more that we can stay consistent, the easier it becomes. Planning ahead. If we don't plan ahead, we really plan to fail. Use the plate method. Building out that plate method for every meal and working on eating your veggies first, then your proteins, and then your starchy carbs is going to be a great way to help you stay on track. And lastly, stay mindful. Think about what you're having, and if you want to enjoy those sweet treats, have it and then move on. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to any one of our nutrition coaches. If you want to ask me a question directly, my email is bj@crossfitgeneration.net. You can email anytime and I'll answer your questions or put you in contact with the right person for that question. So I hope that you took a lot away from this nutrition talk today, because there's so many struggles to stay on track and motivated this time of year. With these 5 easy tips, you can feel confident this holiday season. Again, thank you for joining us, and if you're looking for additional help to dive into your nutrition to reach those short-term and long-term goals, be sure to schedule a free intro today to get started with one of our amazing nutrition coaches on staff. Happy holidays, and we hope to see you next time. Thanks.